Okay.
So I'm going to get myself all messed up here because I've got stuff covered in everywhere, but clerk will call the roll.
Glenn Whitley, County Judge.
Here.
Lloyd Charles Brooks, Commissioner Precinct 1.
Present.
Andy A. Quinn, Commissioner Precinct 2.
Here.
Gary Fickus, Commissioner Precinct 3.
Here.
J.D. Johnson, Commissioner Precinct 4.
Here.
Constitutes a quorum.
Thank you. Our invocation today will be delivered by Chaplain Bob McCleary, and I think he's got a story to tell when he gets up here. After the invocation, please remain standing for our pledges.
Thank you. Last week, I got to be at a commissioning of the USS South Dakota. I have a grandson that's in the Navy that's on that ship, and it was awesome to see it. They had a birthday celebration up there for the Navy. As you well know, it's the 242nd birthday of the Navy. We thank you. Y'all are awesome. We appreciate your service.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Our Heavenly Father, we thank you that we live in the greatest country on God's green earth. We are blessed to have these commissioners. We're blessed to have the sailors here. We thank you. We ask that you bless them, bless their families, bless the decisions that they make here today. We thank you and we praise you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Mr. Manius.
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the Court, we have three announcements as it relates to the agenda this morning. The first is under the Administrator's section, item 8A1. This is engagement of outside counsel. We will take this item up after closed session today. Under the Budget and Risk Management Department, item 8B1. These are the appropriation adjustments for FY17. There's a revised court communication in your folder as relates to that particular item. Also, Your Honor, just to remind you that when we get to item 9, which is the approval of bonds and certificates of self-insurance, we do have one certificate of self-insurance that we're going to ask the court to approve. And then some general announcements. The IT Steering Committee is going to meet today at 2 p.m. in the Family Law Center. The Elections Commission is going to meet today also at 4 p.m. in the Commissioner's Courtroom. There is not going to be a Commissioner's Court meeting on October 31st. So our next court meeting will be the first Tuesday in November. And then finally, members of the court, if you will check your calendars this week sometime, the requirement to canvass the votes for the November 7th election, it's in a certain time frame where we do not have a Tuesday, so we're going to have to call a special session to canvass. If you will check for either November 17th or Monday, November 20th, and let me know if you are available. That's November 17th or November 20th. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Court members, you have before you the minutes of our regular meeting.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. We have some proclamations and some recognition that we're going to do today. The first is for Youth Homeless Awareness Day. And I believe Carla Story, with Systems Integration Director of the Tarrant County Homeless Coalition, is here. Come on down. I'll read this into the record and then give you an opportunity to make any comments you'd like to make. Whereas every night more than 100 vulnerable youth between the ages of 18 and 24 sleep on the streets and in emergency shelters or in transitional housing in Tarrant County, and whereas these youth account for more than 5% of the homeless population in Tarrant County, while the age group represents only 4.6% of the total population. And whereas more than 75% of the homeless youth leave to escape some sort of abuse, or they have been kicked out due to pregnancy or sexual orientation, and whereas nearly 40% of the youth who age out of foster care become homeless, and whereas these youth feel safer on the streets than in adult shelters where they believe they will experience hate crimes, physical and sexual assault, or exploitation, and whereas without shelter, youth often experience violence, trafficking, substance abuse, mental health issues, and suicide, and whereas at 40% of all adults who are chronically homeless were either in the foster care system or homeless as children or youth, and whereas the chronically homeless use 90% of the resources available to end homelessness, even though they make up only 10% of the homeless population, and whereas City Square, UTA, ACH Child and Family Services, and MHMR Paving the Way are presenting the documentary Lost in America on October 26, 2017, to focus attention on the plight of homeless youth and to raise funds for the Tarrant County Homeless Coalition to help these individuals. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the Commissioners Court of Tarrant County, do hereby proclaim October 26, 2017, Youth Homeless Awareness Day in Tarrant County. Be it further resolved that we support Tarrant County Homeless Coalition in its efforts to serve youth between the ages of 18 and 24 who are homeless. In witness whereof we have herein to set our hands and cause the seal of Tarrant County to be affixed this 24th day of October 2017. And I move its approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Please let me thank you for everything that you do for our community and for the efforts that you're making. Let's get a picture and I'll let that flash will go at least 3 times.
I want to thank everyone and thank you, Judge Whitley, for the proclamation and bringing awareness to the issue of youth homelessness in our community. And a group of us started meeting just to talk about the impact it has on the community, the impact it has on youth. And one of the things that came up was to bring the the documentary Lost in America to Tarrant County, or to Fort Worth specifically. The director, Rotimi Rainwater, will be present, so he will be doing a Q&A after the documentary, and also to process what everyone's seen. So as it was stated in the proclamation, the documentary is this Thursday, the 26th at 7 p.m. at Ridgely Theater, and you can buy your tickets online. There's an Eventbrite, or you can buy them at the door. It's $25 for general admission and $15 for students. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, it's certainly my pleasure to recognize the crew of the USS Fort Worth. We had the opportunity 5 years ago to be at the commissioning service in Galveston, and we certainly enjoyed that and were very impressed by that. Today, Commander Tony Hyde is with us. He's the new captain of the USS Fort Worth. Took over on the 5th birthday, or the 5th anniversary of the commissioning, September the 22nd, 2017, and in San Diego. And I know that Councilman Shingleton and others were able to be out there for that. But if you'll come forward, I'll read this proclamation and then make a presentation for you. Whereas Commander Tony Hyde assumed command of the USS Fort Worth on September 22nd, 2017, and whereas a native of Chicago, he enlisted as a yeoman in the Navy in 1993, with his first assignment as communication officer on the USS George Phillip, which was deployed to the Eastern Pacific supporting counter-narcoterrorism operations. And whereas Commander Hyde's sea assignments also include an additional tour supporting counter narcotics in the Eastern Pacific Rim, the Rim of the Pacific 2010, Operations Enduring Freedom, and Operation Iraqi Freedom in the Arabian Gulf. And whereas he served as a strategic planner and Joint Functional Component Command for Global Strike at the U.S. Strategic Command in Omaha, Nebraska. That's kind of like being in Navy Dallas. I mean, there's not a whole lot of water in Omaha. And Training Readiness Officer and Operations Officer during the stand-up of the Naval Service Training Command in Great Lake, Illinois. And whereas Commander Hyde earned a Bachelor's of Arts degree in Biology, a Master's degree in National Security and Strategic Studies from the Naval War College, and a Master's degree in Educational Leadership from the University of Illinois at Springfield. And whereas in late 2015, returning to sea duty as Executive Officer of the LCS Crew 103 Rough Riders, he completed USS Detroit's maiden voyage to her home port in Mayport, Florida, taking command of the LCS Crew 103 in April of 2017. And whereas during his service, Commander Hyde has been awarded the Defense Meritorious Service Medal, the Navy Commendation Medal, and the Navy Achievement Medal. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the Commissioners Court of Tarrant County, do hereby proclaim October the 24th as the Commander Tony Hyde Day in Tarrant County, and thank Commander Hyde for his commitment and service to our country. In witness whereof we have herein to set the hand and cause the seal of Tarrant County to be affixed this 24th day of October 2017. I'll move its approval.
Second.
And I think we kind of surprised you because I think we really do want to recognize the entire crew, but we also want to recognize you and thank you for your contributions. I'm going to please vote. Motion passes unanimously. I want to bring down the plaque, and then what I also want to do is I eventually want the whole crew just come on down. And we're going to get in a circle. And I've also got a poster for the captain who's just leaving. So you come forward also and let me, we're going to do this in several different ways. We're going to try to do this in several different ways. Can I get you to hold that? I will give you each one of these. Captain Spencer Austin is just come off as captain of the USS Fort Worth. They have gone from what had been a rotating crew to now a permanent crew. And so you're now at the point of being a permanent crew, and then replacements will come and go, but the crew itself will remain the same, and we're excited about that. I'm going to present this proclamation to Captain Hyde. And we'll get some pictures, and then we're going to get everybody. You want to move your, because I know you get mad at people. Yes. Okay, now before you do that, before you do that, I think there's some behind it. The one that's got to have the 3 flash. Move over and let our 3 flash person come on in here. This is worse than Christmas. Yeah, get her eyes. That's the only other thing that you can compare with. Okay, come on forward. We're going to move that. We're going to get everybody in here. Court members may want to just, you can either come down here. Do we want to get them all up there? Okay, everybody's up there. This goes through. You want to you may want to put all that.
We need a leader. Thank you, GK.
Hold anything?
Good morning.
Come on through this way.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning, morning.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Sit down.
I'll tell you what, let's put them right here for the time being.
I already got the English. I love it. Great.
Right. Right.
Y'all come on up, because I can guarantee you we ain't got that wide angle of the lens.
Find a spot.
Sailors on the shot.
Vertically challenged need to be in the front. Here, I'll tell you what, pull that on the side.
Well, come on, guys.
Tell us when you got everybody, and we'll start trying to get everybody quiet. That's 1, 2, 3. She's through. Oh, about 5. Wait a minute, he's got to get in here. Come on. Come on. Do you want a picture taken with your camera?
Now Susan's gonna start on one.
He ain't letting go of that camera so much. You mean to pull the chair back out of the way. Pull that chair back out of the way. You're not going to see forever. That's right, I was counting. I think Chris had just knocked something off there.
Yes.
Okay, has everybody got a picture?
400,000, we were doing.
All right. Thank you all again very much. We're going to give that to the captain, give those two to the captain also. And we've got one more proclamation, and this proclamation deals with the fact that we are in Navy Week. And so I'm going to read that proclamation into the record. Whereas the U.S. Navy celebrates its 242nd birthday on October the 13th, honoring the commitment, dedication, and service of brave men and women who protect our nation. And whereas since 2005, Navy Week has served as the Navy's principal outreach effort, with 195 Navy Weeks held in 71 different cities and counties across the United States. And whereas last year more than 900 individual outreach events reached an audience of approximately 70 million Americans, and whereas a variety of events are planned in each city the entire week, engaging the public and organizations from all sectors of the community to raise awareness of the Navy, its mission, and its importance to the public. And whereas Navy personnel participating in events include the Blue Angels, the Navy Parachute Team, Navy bands, Navy divers, namesake ships, submarine crews, hometown sailors, and whereas Fort Worth Navy Week events begin Saturday, October the 21st with the U.S. Navy Leapfrogs jumping into the TCU homecoming football game, with various events continuing throughout the week and ending with the U.S. Navy Blue Angels performing at the Bell Helicopter Fort Worth Alliance Air Show on October 28th and 29th. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the Commissioners Court of Tarrant County, do hereby recognize and proclaim October 23rd through 29th, 2017 as Navy Week in Tarrant County. Further, that we, the Commissioners Court of Tarrant County, do hereby acknowledge, honor, and express humble appreciation for the contributions made by the U.S. Navy in the service brave men and women, past, present, and future, to our community, state, and nation. In witness whereof we have herein to set our hands and cause the seal of Tarrant County to be affixed this 24th day of October 2017. I'll move its approval.
Second.
Seconded by all. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Again, I think we've seen a lot of attention paid to the respect, our ability to protest or not protest. I think the one thing we need to remember is if it were not for these men and women and for the people that they follow and for the people that will come after them, we wouldn't enjoy, one, even being able to discuss it, let alone have acts of protest or whatever we choose to want to say or do. And freedom, as has been said many times, is not free. It came to us as the results of people in the past, the current times, and in the future who are willing to sacrifice their lives or to risk their lives and put their lives on the line so that we can enjoy those freedoms. And I think all too often we may take them for granted, but I truly believe, and I said this to them earlier, that this community, this county, and the folks in it take very seriously their understanding of the patriots who have made this country what it is, and we certainly want to thank them. We also talked about the fact that I mentioned earlier that the U.S. Fort Worth is now a permanent crew. And they talked about ways to tie not only us to the USS Fort Worth, and we have made a commitment, and we made that commitment when it was commissioned, to support that ship and its crew for as long as that ship was a commissioned ship in the Navy. And we do that through various efforts, and one of those efforts is the USS Fort Worth Support Committee. And we created an Anchors Club, and I know that there are many members, all the court members are members of the Anchors Club, and many of y'all have made contributions to that support, and we appreciate that very much. I'm going to, in a moment, give to Kristen, who works with the USS Fort Worth Support Committee, this envelope, which has around $8,000 in it, and that was something that y'all helped us to put together, and that's just one thing that we want to do. And as I said, that's kind of us connecting with the USS Fort Worth. Captain Hyde said we're trying to do things that on the ship that will tie the crew to Fort Worth and to Tarrant County. Those posters, I think, are things in ways that we can show the old courthouse, which is our symbol. I gave pins to each one of the crew that were here today. I'm going to give him, the captain, a bunch of pins to take back and hopefully give to the crew that is on board that couldn't make it today. And in the future, what I want to do is we'll send other pins there, and then as someone comes onto the ship, in an effort to remind them where they're tied to, we'll give them one of these courthouse pins, and then if they ever have an opportunity to visit Fort Worth, Tarrant County, they'll see that. But maybe they'll only see it in a poster. And we'll see if we can't get some other posters to you that show the old courthouse. Our talented individual, Jim Duff, has also many posters of our courthouse.
Including that one.
Including that one right there. And in fact, that might be one that we would also ship forward. Just to, again, help you relate to the Fort Worth, Tarrant County way of doing things and how much we appreciate everything you've done. So with that, I will bring this additional. Crystal, why don't you come up also? And
Well, I just want to make a record statement that as an Army veteran, I was able to overcome the rivalry to support Naval Week. So, just for the record.
And I explained that my dad spent 20 years in the Navy, and I was in the Navy Reserve, so I don't have any problems at all.
That's exactly.
As long as we're putting things on the record, let the record reflect that I'm the only member of this court who actually lives in the city of Fort Worth.
But Tarrant County is doing, we're gonna up Fort Worth.
Okay, you
Well, I'm the only member that lives in the county.
Okay, there's that.
Okay.
Here are the pins for you to be able to take back. There's the money.
Thank you. Thank you
If you want to make any comments, you're welcome to do that.
Okay. Oh, well, I don't need that microphone. Thank you, Judge, Commissioners, for all of, for everything. You know, I just, we've been talking about it, and I just truly feel blessed that we're tied, that our name, that we have your name. We get to take that name with us wherever we go in the world. And so thank you very much for how much you love us, how much you care about us. We feel that support in tangible ways. We know that we are the most blessed crew in the Navy, really. I talked about other LCSs and how really they're envious of us, but my friend Spencer said it's not only LCS, it's every ship in the Navy. They wish they had the relationship that we have with you guys. And so it's our commitment to make sure we continue to strengthen that bond in every way that we can. It's our commitment to make sure that you guys know the story. You know what your sailors are doing and what the ship is doing, and that we'll always do everything we can to make you proud. Not only the United States, but and Navy, but also the city of Fort Worth. When we do things, we always have you guys in mind. And so thank you very much for that. And then just, I don't deserve to have my own day, but thank you very much. It's very interesting that I can almost plan my life by the 24th. I got married on the 24th. All of my kids, except for one was born on Valentine's Day. I have 5 kids. One was born on Valentine's Day. The other one, so I have one on January 24th, August 24th, March 24th. And so the fact that I have a day on the 24th. I've joined the Navy on the 24th. The 24th is very important. So thank you very much for who you are as a city, what you represent to us, and for giving us the honor and the privilege to be able to serve you and carry your name around the world. So thank you very much.
Thank you. I will say that we have one of the crewmen that is here from the city of Fort Worth. Raise your hand. So again, we appreciate very much y'all being here today. We would love to have you stay for our very boring court session. But I know that Amanda has places for you to be. Amanda, wave her hand because I know she's back there in the back. She's the one that's kind of trying to herd the cats. And so we appreciate very much y'all being here, and thank y'all for taking part out of your schedule to be with us. Thank you. Thank you.
That was nice. Thank you.
Thank you. I really want to thank everybody who had an opportunity. I know that we put this together very rapidly, and if you missed an opportunity to give and you still want to, I bet we can get the check to our USS Fort Worth Support Committee, but I want to thank especially those. And Commissioners, I want to thank y'all very much for participating and for joining the Anchors Club on this event. You have before you the consent agenda.
Move for approval of the consent agenda.
Second. We have a motion second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Your Honor, Ms. McMillan is going to do item 2 for us.
Good morning.
Good morning. Judge Commissioners, we're asking today for you to consider approval of participation in the City of Azle Tax Increment Financing Reinvestment Zone Number 1. The City of Azle has established a 1,040-acre tax increment financing zone in an area as shown on the map here along Highway 199 and the FM 730 corridors in both Tarrant and Parker County to facilitate funding for needed infrastructure and site improvements required to facilitate development and redevelopment of the area. Funding through the TERS will pay for approximately $69.3 million in project costs, including street and intersection improvements, water, sewer, drainage, infrastructure, open space and park improvements, and funding for economic incentive grants. And the funding for these infrastructure projects are expected to facilitate the development of residential, multifamily, retail, and commercial development valued at approximately $155 million. As you can see by the map here, these are where the TERS projects will be in Tarrant County. This will be approximately $21.3 million of the project costs that are included in that $69.3 million. And the majority of the development value will be also in Tarrant County. The City of Azle will contribute 90% of its incremental tax revenues from the added property values within the zone, estimated at approximately $47.5 million over the 30-year life of the TERS. Of this, approximately $31 million will be allocated to funding for economic development grants to encourage redevelopment in the zone. The city is requesting Tarrant County Hospital District, Parker County, and Tarrant County College District to also participate at 50% of the increment value throughout the life of the zone. The attached agreements you have before you provide for county and hospital district participation at 50% of each entity's incremental property taxes generated for the 30-year life of the zone, or until the contributions are capped at $7,292,488 for the county and $6,295,212 for the hospital district. We're asking that you approve the resolution and the participation agreements providing for this participation. Also, I do want to note that Azle Mayor Alan Bundret and the Economic Development Director Karen Dickinson are here in the audience today.
I move for its approval.
Second,
We have a motion
with a
second.
question. I assume we're only supporting those projects that are located in Tarrant County.
That's correct, and that's why I showed this.
Inasmuch as it appears that project number 2 straddles the county line, how are you going to handle that one?
The TERS will have to allocate the funding along both the line, and they'll have to separate that funding out. So the city will be responsible for doing that. We did that in the Grand Prairie, TERS number 3, I believe, the Peninsula one. Those values, when it crossed the Dallas County and Tarrant County line, they separated those funds out and attributed the costs that were located in each county.
Well, I was going to ask a question. It looks like the 2, I mean, you've got it drawn on our county line.
It straddles the line.
Well, I mean, I guess it goes over because the line, it seems like it's right on. I was going to ask about 1 and why that strip of land between the green line and the county line is not in the TERS.
I don't know if Karen wants to address that, but
It's probably already developed.
Is it already developed? Is that the reason that?
I'm not sure which one you're talking about.
Looks like it follows a roadway.
Yeah, it's the roadway
It's
infrastructure
730,
that's right there.
But I've kind of got a special interest in 730 right now. But here's the county line, and as Commissioner Brooks, I'm assuming there's more of this that it goes over when it gets into Parker County.
That's correct.
But up here, it seems like we didn't come over the county line, so there's a strip of.
Our ETJ, our city limits goes up Highway 730, so the rest of that is in our ETJ, so that's not in the city limits.
Okay, so you couldn't put that in the. Okay.
You want to go back? Yeah, look at there's the picture of the zone again, and then, and then back where so that shows where the boundaries of the city is, and then the TERS boundaries.
So that's in the unincorporated area, that little strip.
That's on the line. Yes, Commissioner.
Is this being set up to capture future users, or is there some major development that's coming that they know about, that they are setting this up for?
There is not one developer that they're setting it for. They're doing the infrastructure. They've got developers that are coming in, and this is to encourage the redevelopment along there. But it's not just one major development that's happening. That's why, unfortunately, that's why the length of the TERS, the 30-year TERS, because then take that time to have the development start to come in.
Was there any discussion about the hospital district?
The hospital district, again, it was requested, and we recommend to have them in at 50%, mainly because, like so many of the other small area TERS where it does take time for this development to come in, it's needed to get that upfront money to make the projects work.
And our total commitment of $7 million, is that $7 million for us and $7 million for the hospital?
$7 million, about 7.2 for us and 6.2 for the hospital district.
Okay.
So our funding in total is about 13 million of the 69 million.
Okay. Any other questions?
Mayor, thank you for being here.
Thank both of y'all for being here. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Sugar.
Still got his hurt arm from the last time he was here.
Oh, I don't know.
Didn't you have that thing on the other arm last time you were here?
Yes, sir. Actually, I did. I crashed the bike yet again.
You know, there should be some logic in entering here, hopefully eventually.
Yeah, it wasn't a good weekend at my house. My wife has hidden all bike parts and bicycles from me at this point.
How the heck, you're selling?
They're not worth much broken.
Not in current condition, no.
So, as you, Criminal Courts Administration, on behalf of the criminal judge, is requesting to approve the submission of a grant application to the Veterans Treatment Court for treatment from the Veteran Treatment Commission of $400,000. As you're aware, we're in the process of expanding the Veterans Court, so we're seeking grants to expand our treatment ability.
Move for approval.
Second. We have a motion, a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Glenn.
Move to approve and receive and file the personnel agenda.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Receive and file personnel agenda. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Good morning, Ms. Glenn.
Good morning.
Wasn't
See you later.
unanimous. Excuse me.
Okay.
Check the vote again.
Whoops.
Almost unanimous.
Almost unanimous. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Vinnie.
Good morning, Your Honor, and members of the court.
Morning, morning.
Public Health has one item before you for consideration this morning. We're requesting approval for the Public Health Department to submit a application to NACHO for a Project Public Health Ready recognition. So it's almost like a accreditation for public health preparedness, which NACHO provides. It's a one-year process. And they review all our plannings on responding to any public health emergencies. The state of Texas DSHS comes and does a site visit and works with us on those type of things. And then NACHO has their members involved in that as well. So we're requesting that we apply for that, and hopefully we'll get certified.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion, a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thanks, Vinnie. Mr. Beecham. A rough couple of weeks, ain't it?
It's been a tough life.
Well, it has been.
We still have time to be in a baby bowl. The toilet bowl is still to be determined, but and I might have tickets to the Arkansas LSU game November the 11th for sale if you want to talk about that. But I think I want to go. We have one item for your consideration this morning. It's a bid award recommendation for RFQ 2017-156. Request for qualifications for the clinical program consultant for HIV quality management program. Recommendation would be to award to Positive Outcomes Incorporated per the terms of the contract. If approved, seeking contract approval from the court.
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jack. Commissioner Johnson, I believe you have an interlocal agreement.
Has this interlocal been approved by the DA's office?
Yes, Commissioner, it has.
I move approval of item 8K 1A and B.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Are there any appointments today? There being none, then you have before you, we have an approval of a bond certificate of self-insurance.
Request approval.
Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
You have before you the claims, including the addendum.
Move approval of the claims, including the addendum.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. I don't believe we have any briefing items today, so we'll recess our open meeting and proceed to close to discuss items exempted under section 551.071, 072, 074, 076, and 087 of the Texas Government Code.
Is this in an effort to do away with bondsmen?
I don't know what that is.
All right, I'll show it to you in a minute.
Having returned from our closed session and there being no business to conduct at this time, we are adjourned.